And welcome to Blackfeather Guild. Before we go in and say hi to the cast and get started with the show, I wanted to talk very briefly about viewer actions and a little bit about sponsors. So first off, there's a number of ways that you can actually actively participate in the show through viewer actions. One of the easiest ways to do so is through retweeting the game tweet. You should see that somewhere in chat if it's not in there already. But you just click on that link and hit retweet, and for every 5 retweets that we get on that, it will add a bonus to the cast pool and the game master pool. Now, in most cases, that's going to be an extra d6 that they can add on to any roll. Basically, a great way to use that is if a player is almost meeting a DC, but they're just not quite there, they can grab one of those d6s from the cast pool, roll that, and then add that to their roll. Basically, is how that works. Same with the GM. So that's one of the easiest ways that you can participate that way. Another way is through guild coins. That's our Twitch channel points. If you look at the rainbow colored icon, it should have the Black Feather Guild crest on it. It should be right below your Twitch chat box. If you click on that, it'll show you all the different things that you can get with those. The biggest one being plot points. Now, plot points, you can see an example right over here. They all work pretty much the same way. It's just a matter of how big of an impact they have. So for the example, and we've got 2 plot points, the player of your choice gets something moderately helpful or unhelpful. Enter any suggestions for the GM into chat, or you can have the GM come up with something entirely on their own. So just choose if you want it to be helpful or unhelpful to the party, and that's kind of how you can use them. You can throw in your own suggestions as well. How those work: 1 plot point is something trivially helpful or unhelpful. 2 is moderately, 3 is very, and 4 is very to the entire party. So if you want to do something to help the entire party or really throw a monkey wrench in their plans, 4 plot points will do that. So that's guild coins. And then finally, we've got donations. So if you want to help out with keeping the lights on in the place, so to speak, there's a number of ways that you can financially contribute. One of those being coffee.com/Raven or Raven.rocks. You can see both of those examples down there at the bottom. Those are the addresses to do direct donations. You can also do Twitch subscriptions or bits. Those work the same way. And then finally, Patreon. We've got a Patreon, which you should see in chat here any second if it's not there already. And our Bard tier patrons and higher get credits towards viewer actions every month that they can use on any show that they would like. You just have to let us know in chat how you want to spend those, and then we'll hand those out. So some very cool stuff. Before we hop over to see the cast, one last thing to mention is a couple things on this chart here. We've already covered the D6 and the plot points, but the triple crits, what that means is you can gift auto critical successes. And you can, it's triple because you get 3. You can divvy those out however you'd like. You can do 2 to the cast, 1 to the game master, all of them to the game master, however you want to do it. So they work much like the D6s. The cast members just grab that when they're available and they really need them and use them. So it's pretty cool. And then finally, the last one, introduce an ally or enemy NPC. Just give us a brief description of what you want this character to look like, kind of their character concept and a name, and let us know if you want it to be an enemy or an ally to the party, and the GM will basically take that and run with it. So really cool ways that you can participate. Lastly, I just want to take a quick moment to mention our sponsors. If you look at the logos down below, that's who's sponsoring this episode, and we'll talk a little bit about that before we introduce everybody as well on the next scene. So yeah, check all this stuff out, and thank them for supporting us, and thank you for being here and watching. Let's go say hi to the cast.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the finale. I am so excited. Before we dive into the last episode of Where Things Go South, thank you so much, Pastor Raven, for that introduction. Now, we would love to take a moment to thank our sponsors before we do anything else. Grinding Coffee Company and Fundamental RPG. Be sure to check out grindingcoffee.co and use the code RAVEN, that's RAVVYN, for 13% off of your next order. And next, I would like to introduce our wonderful cast. So, Eshi, let's start with you today. Could you tell us a bit about yourself and your character?
I'm Eshi, a gamer, philosopher, artist. This is about the only place you can find me on the internet, and I'm playing Ven, the authority averse expert.
Fantastic. Econolox, what about you?
I'm Ekinorlax. Oh, no. Okay, now. I mixed my hands because it's mirrored. Yeah, so I'm mostly playing games on the internet, TTRPG games and computer games, and you can watch me doing that here and on some other channels. And that's pretty much it.
And who are you playing today?
All right, I'm playing Glenn, the strong arm of this party. Person who solves the more mundane problems.
All right.
Like driving the party.
Driving the party, standing in the way, being the moral compass at times, bit of everything. All right, Pa, can you tell us a bit about yourself and who you're playing today?
Hi, I'm Par. I'm a aspiring writer. I troll about on the internet, streaming from time to time. Just kind of doing my thing. I'm playing Ryan Fortune, resident master of magic, skilled arcane technician, hottest free agent in the magical community. Not one, not even one mage like him ever.
I'm full of confidence. I'm polished, and normally you can find me playing role-playing games in a lot of different places. And for this particular show, I play the rest of the universe. So last week, we continued the party's adventures in a museum that's stuck in a time loop and has had to deal with all sorts of magical phenomena, possessed demon rats, and now the disembodied voice of a little girl laughing. And as the episode came to an end, the last thing we see is that as the party starts to move from one room to the next, Winter goes to move with you. And then suddenly, they're caught in the same 5-second time loop as everyone else in the building. And you have a feeling someone might be running out of patience with you. And that's where our intro music begins. It's the same tune we've heard 8 times now. And the first person we see on camera is Ryan. Ryan, what is your action shot for this week?
Ryan, you know what? Let's take it really back to basics. Ryan is sitting in a room with an old friend from college. He looks very bored as they sit there. The friend is over just a basic cooking pot, throwing in ingredients and making really dramatic gestures and speaking and shouting very loudly. Ryan starts to look a bit at the door, a bit nervous, like someone might hear them, and he'll have to explain what's going on. As he looks away, friend sprinkles some ginger into the pot, and Ryan, his eyes white out, and all of a sudden he's seeing a completely different world from what he was just seeing.
Nice. And the music begins to swell again, revisiting some of the scenes that we have seen in previous episodes. Eventually, the camera settles on Glenn. Glenn, what is your action shot for this week?
I like the idea of going back to the beginning. So, Glenn is wearing some uniform, not the dress one, the casual one. His face is dirty. He's in some jungle, and he turns back to his friend. We see another soldier sitting with their back to the tree, clearly wounded. Glenn hears some noise because we see him startled and turning around to peer into the jungle. Apparently it's nothing, and he turns back to his friend, and the friend is gone. No trace.
And that's where the music picks up again, going into the calmer part of the theme song as the camera zooms in on Ven. Ven, what is your action shot for this week?
Leaning into going back to the beginning, the camera zooms in on Ven's face, looking panicked and covered in fresh blood, looking much younger. As they flip frantically through this book, yelling apparently random incantations behind them as the camera pulls out, and they are driving hell-bent down a dirt road through the woods as tendrils of darkness and indescribable organs pierce through the darkness behind them, trailing along the road. And as they hit a jump and leave the wooded area as the sun rises, then finishes the incantation and the darkness is dispelled as the car crashes.
And the camera pans up from this car crash towards the skies, where suddenly, written almost as if in the stars, we see the title of our show, Where Things Go South. That's where the theme music quiets down and the camera turns back to where we left off last week. What are you all doing?
Last thing that happened last week was Ven peering into their dark past, and Winter talking with some girl. She was giggling and writing words, and now Winter is stuck. So Glenn says, yeah, I think this girl is what's causing trouble here. Oh, and Glenn notices Winter moving back in time a few seconds. Oh yeah, we must be on the right track. And Glenn will try to interact with Winter, like move them, push them away. Maybe it's the spot that happened that caused this.
Similarly to when you'd held on to items before, you can move them, but they, and for that matter, Winter, return to where they were a few seconds before.
We really must be on the right track.
This is why you don't go around stabbing people in a time loop. There's bound to be consequences.
Yeah.
And another thing you'll notice is that the giant monster cat that Winter had summoned before they got caught in the time loop seems to have disappeared. it was there one moment, and the next time you look back, it's just not there anymore. And to refresh everyone's memories of where we are, you're in the eastern wing of the museum. A part of the museum normally used for lectures, for concerts and charity functions. The building is starting to repair itself after your, to begin with, battle with Marvolio the Unnamed, and eventually his return to the life of a normal rat. So yeah, the building is repairing itself around you. The entity that was talking to you seems to have disappeared into the other wing of the museum.
I think it's your show here, says Glenn, looking at Van and Ryan.
Well, trust me, it's always been my show.
Glenn rolls eyes. Yep, I've walked on this one.
Ben is pointedly ignoring them. So this is some kind of trickster. Chances are it's leading us into a trap. And Ven marches straight for it.
Love it.
Ryan will look at Glenn and say, wow, for a moment I really thought he might for the first time in his life express some level of caution. He didn't.
Calling over the shoulder. You don't get to be an expert being cautious.
I feel like that's markedly not true. Sure, lead the way.
I would argue you become an expert by surviving long enough to gather knowledge.
I suppose there's a lot of things that go into becoming an expert. Except for me. I was just born that way.
What do you all do?
Follow the light? Is it a light?
You could hear the sound trailing off into
Sorry.
the distance.
The sound.
I mean, there's also just Ven walking straight through, so you might be referring to some light they've got on them. But from my end, the only thing you heard trailing off was the sound.
Ven is following the sound.
All right, following
Glenn
Ben.
is following Van.
All right, it takes you through the building, and you get back to the outdoor court where effectively it's like a massive greenhouse with the odd statue and a small cafe and a lot of people caught in time loops, just like you see throughout various parts of the museum. And leads you into the other wing. And as soon as you enter into the main area from where you can access different parts of the museum, you start to hear it echo from every single direction.
And is it the sound that echoes it? Is it still giggling?
It's occasionally giggling and then the sound bounces off.
Oh, okay.
So you hear that, and every time a new giggle starts, it appears to be in a different spot.
It likes to play games.
Can I read about the situation?
Absolutely.
This is kind of just so I could use my third eye to see invisible things.
Yep. So that would be your sharp, please.
Where's my?
With a 5, that means you get to mark experience.
It does. With my third eye open,
Does it still activate on a fail?
it doesn't. On a miss, you may still get 1 hold, but you're exposed to a supernatural danger. Unfiltered hidden reality is tough on the mind.
Okay. What specifically are you looking for?
I'm looking to see if the source of this giggling is actually in this area, since it's, seems to be all around.
You see absolutely nothing. And you recall from what Winter had relayed before and what Ven had told you as well, that you think the physical form of this thing might be trapped.
Mm.
So what you're dealing with could be psychic, it could be magical, it could be a weird combination of a lot of things given how much magic is in the area. But the thing does not appear to be physically bouncing around. Ooh, we also have 2 plot points redeemed to help Glenn. Fantastic. So Glenn and by extension Econorlax, keep that in mind when you might need them.
When it's time to punch.
Yes.
Glenn gets his own dragon fist from Dragon Ball Z.
Thank you very much.
You also remember something that Winter had talked about before about statues falling over?
Mm-hmm.
Are there some statues here in this room?
Not in this room, but the museum has a pretty extensive collection of statues.
I thought you were leading into a statue falling on me.
No, just a casual reminder.
Can I go back to the room, the hall where the staff where the kiosks and shops were?
So you do have the main entry where you would buy tickets, and there's this sort of classic museum shop, and then outside.
I want to take some advertisement folder of the museum itself. Maybe it mentions the most important artifacts. Maybe there are some status that would be relevant to our situations.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Could you please roll me to investigate a mystery?
Investigate a mystery. Sharp.
Yep, so that's generally your sharp, unless you have a special move.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a 10.
I never get the experience.
So that means you get to ask 2 questions, and obviously you can modify them slightly to help you find what you're looking for, since I know how you're trying to get this information.
What can hurt? That would be what is being concealed here? That's do we have some statues representing little girls mentioned in the folders?
Yes, actually, there is one. You're not sure if it's related or not. There's a statue by Degas called Little Dancer of 14 Years, a pretty famous piece that exists in this museum. Apologies if I heck up any of the artist names, because there's quite a few being thrown around in my information.
Apologies if I end up punching little girl.
Fair. That's the one that you find that it's specifically like instantly, this is a little girl.
Okay,
Beyond
and
that, there's a lot of references to Greek and Roman statues. You've got a pretty substantial Etruscan collection as well. The French collection has sculptures. So there's quite a bit of mixture.
okay, so do I find any statue that in this folder that now connects with any mythological creature connected with tricks, like statue of trickster spirits?
Nothing in the folder itself, but it's also a very specific thing you're looking for. There's not necessarily tricksters, there's something referencing Romulus and Remus, but yeah, nothing that immediately stands out. Like there's mythological creatures all over the place, or mythological characters all over the place across most of the collections. But there's nothing that immediately stands out as, aha, that's the creature we're looking for.
Okay, so I rely the information about the little dancer. That's the only statue it's written about that might be relevant to our problem. Let's go there. What do you say?
I would like to troll my dark past.
Mm.
Thinking about
For-
any entities that I have reference to that are trapped in statues. Any like well-established myths of something being locked in this kind of situation.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. So that's one of your special moves as an expert.
Yes,
Should
it's
be.
a weird.
There's your character sheet. Perfect. So that I know. With a 9, that is a partial success. You get to ask one of those questions.
Do I know anyone that might be behind this? Thinking specifically of the discorporated little girl voice.
What do you mean when you say, do I know anyone who might be behind this? Like the creature itself, the trappings, why it's stuck here? Like which part of...
Start by specifically identifying the creature.
Okay.
That's where Ben's head is.
You know that you reckon there's something that stands out to you about the fact that Winter is now trapped in this time loop. Most reports you've heard of what you've been told before is that these entities tried to kill things in the museum before. Like there were 2 things that happened: people were killed and people went missing. Winter wasn't killed. Whether they're missing or not is probably up to a matter of definition. But you reckon that you've come across this idea before that this creature needs a source of sustenance. It's not because it has been interacting with you to the extent that it has, it itself is not trapped in that time loop. In terms of what it is, you can determine that using everything you learned so far, that it's quite likely some sort of psychic energy that it feeds off of. Because there hasn't been, any reports of like chewed up people being found. in fact, this has been remarkably bloodless, with the exception of when Malvolio showed up.
So I have a theory, I think. We're dealing with probably something that feeds on fear. Because there was lots of deaths initially, but since then it's mostly been disappearances. And it feels like something wants to keep this time loop going. And what better source of sustenance for something that's apparently a psychic entity than a bunch of people perpetually trapped in a state of fear?
So, one thing I'll add to that is that none of the people you have seen in the time loop appear to be afraid.
Hmm.
The
And
question
yet,
is, have you found all of them?
we also forget one group of people, the investigators, because we are not the first group. There were many mentioned. Agatha told about them trying to solve this on their own for years. So it might not be fear. It might literally feed on toying with people.
It could be.
Anyway, it's the statues. I'm not talking about the girl, although the girl is one of interest. The statues seem to be our sort of nexus of events here. Let's find some room with statues, maybe.
Kick a few down, see what happens.
That's too.
Okay, there's a few different options for statues to kick down in general. So they have, let me go through all of this. So there's currently an exhibition called Animals and People, a special exhibition, which features exactly what it sounds. It's by a local artist, and it's a lot of statues of animals and people. You have a section on Danish art from 1780 to 1930. There's some ancient Egyptian works that have, a bit of statues to them as well, including the sarcophagus or sarcophagi that the mummies were contained in. You have a lot of Greek and Roman sculptures, as well as Danish and French sculpture. Where would you like to go to start wrecking priceless artifacts?
We just consider it an option. We are not dead set on doing that yet, I think.
Hey, there's restorative magics and stuff in play. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Why don't we try animating them?
The thing about sculptures by local artists might be something because the girl, the spirit, was using Danish, I think. I'm not sure if Winter mentioned that before they got stuck in the loop.
I have no idea either.
Okay, but to stay true to the character, maybe let's start with the girl, the dancer.
Seems like as good a choice as any.
Exactly.
Is that a statue? I'm just saying, having a animated statue backing you up doesn't really hurt. I've had worse ideas.
That's a true fact. You know what? Sure, pick one.
Sorry.
You want me to pick a statue? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Okay.
maybe one of the Greek ones. If you're looking for backup, like somebody with a javelin or something.
Sure, I look for one with a weapon.
Are you actually going through to the Greek collection to find a statue to animate?
Sure.
Okay.
Look, I
Is there
probably speak
anything
Greek.
in particular you want?
Yes. The Bar mentioned the javelin, so I guess there might be some hunters in those animals and people exhibit.
Are you going to animals and people or Greek and Roman?
No, Greek and Roman. Greek.
Oh no! I just imagined them speaking in Greek and Latin.
I probably speak Latin and Greek, to be honest. The only
I thought
good language is a dead language.
we did establish you spoke.
Dead languages.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something about dead languages. Was it Spanish? Maybe. Right. So, in general, a lot of the Greek and Roman artwork, it's pretty solid. But given that it's a lot of portraits, like a lot of less than full-bodied sculptures. There's about 400 portraits in general in this collection.
A question before we start messing things:
Yes.
Is the Greco-Roman room in any kind of mess? Are there any broken statues here, specifically here?
I mean, there are statues that appear to have been broken.
I mean,
due to the fact that they're old.
Yeah. I imagine, but like fallen down on the floor. Beyond the usual state of
Beyond the usual
time.
state of centuries old old items. It's hard to tell because you suspect that if it had fallen over, there's a chance the building's repairs would have gotten to it. You might be able to learn more about that particular aspect of things if you were to investigate using magic, because the repairs would have been magical in nature. There's nothing there now that, looks like something's been toppled over, but in general with this museum, everything looks neat and in order and in place.
Okay, so it's time to animate the statue, I guess.
How many full statues are there?
How many full statues? There are a few. Especially full length, there's quite a few that are, missing half an arm and things like that. Again, due to being very old artifacts. You can find a few that are completely intact, though. If you're also looking for one with a weapon, you find one that is, it's a sculpture and it has 3 entities to it. There appears to be a small animal sitting and looking up, most likely a dog, and then a child or some sort of mythological male creature looking up at a taller person who's holding what appears to be a spear, but not particularly wearing armor. Instead opting for, classic Greek and Roman sculpture clothing are barely there.
I like this one.
Yes. Are
I'm
you
just saying that to the rest of the
okay?
party.
This is
Like-
like, does that mean it's animated now? Do we
Like,
only ever know?
Like in a practical way or aesthetically, does it speak to you?
It speaks to me. I like the story here.
I like the little dog. Do we want the dog? The guy with the spear seems like they would be more useful, but
Yes. Do you think I meant the dog?
Actually,
who doesn't want a dog?
I would say that this, and I showed the shotgun, beats the spear any time of the day, but the sense of smell of a dog, when we are trying to sniff things out, would come handier.
Let me take a look at this. I want to, crack the fingers, start walking around the statue, looking at it very carefully.
Yeah.
What kind of magic should I use on you?
The statue doesn't reply.
I know. Ryan's gotten to the stage where he's talking to himself as he does magic.
Mm.
That old wizard stage, like way too early.
I know, but it's also that given that you have almost like a specialty of talking to buildings and items, I'm like, I might as well clarify that you don't automatically get a reply.
Wait, that's why wizards always seem crazy. They can talk to buildings. No wonder.
Ven is going to prep to help whatever Ryan does.
All right. Let me see what's under use magic.
Yeah, because it's sort of what do you want it to do?
Well, I gotta animate it, so I guess this is use magic to do one thing that is beyond human limitations. I don't know.
It typically refers to yourself.
what else that would be.
I
don't know what else really fits for this.
Let me see.
Could do it as a kind of summoning.
A kind
Yeah.
of summoning.
Summon a thing into the statue.
Well,
You know
that's
what? I'll
not just.
say if you want it to be fully animated and to the point where it's not just moving about going, I am a statue that can now move, but actually, also have it behave like a dog or a person, that's going to be big magic. And you reckon that if Ven is willing to help,
Cool.
you will need to use magic as a part of the ritual itself. So it's going to be the help roll from Ven, and then I'm going to need you to roll to use magic twice. One to animate it, one to make it almost sentient.
Okay. Would my so when I use magic as part of a big magic, I get plus forward to those use magic rolls, so it'd be +1 to both,
To both of those rolls, yes.
Okay. So then, if you'd like to roll to help assist him, yeah.
How cool am I today?
Pretty decent with an 8. To help out with a 1. Okay. So here's how this is going to work. You do get the +1 to your next roll. However, if you don't pull both of these rolls off, you reckon that this thing might go after Ven as the most likely threat, because it has already part of their magic's already in this.
I think Ryan has a bit of a looks over at Glenn at Ven for a second, is just like, interesting choice you've made there. Right, so let me have a crack at it. So this one is with +2 forward?
Yes, +2 to the first one, +1 to the second.
Okay. So let's see.
All right. First roll goes off without a hitch. What do you want to start with? Animating it or making it sentient?
I feel like we should get it moving before we give it sentience.
Okay, it is now moving. Question is, how does it behave? Roll again, please. +1 this time.
Okay, +1. Come on. Oh,
Nice. That's 2 11s in a row, which is good news for them, if nothing else.
look at this magic.
Now, are you aiming for the person or the dog?
Oh, the person. He was listening to these two.
Yeah, so the statue, it doesn't change color or anything, and it still looks decidedly like this pristine white material, but it moves around and sort of stretches just a little.
Catch the
And
dog,
then
Ben.
And then it looks at Ryan with a bit of confusion.
Hi.
It doesn't talk because its lips are still fused together and it doesn't actually have lungs and vocal cords. But it raises a hand in greeting.
Well, this won't be a right partnership if we can't communicate, am I right? I mean, are you understanding me? You picking up what I'm putting down?
It nods.
Oh, very nice. Would you like to be able to speak back?
It just shrugs. It doesn't seem to have any strong opinions on whether speech is needed or not.
Well, we'll come to that in a bit. Why don't you take a few test steps? Spread out. You've been quite static for a while.
Just a few centuries. Statue looks around just a little. It seems really confused as to why the other parts of its installation aren't moving. But it very, still in a stiff way, takes a step off the podium it's been on. Was it off the podium? It's roughly 4 foot tall. And it moves. Like, you reckon it might not be able to perform any gymnastics or acrobatics, but it can walk.
Don't worry, flexibility will come with time.
It doesn't look particularly worried.
Anyway, you're probably wondering why you're here. It's because I need your help. We are about to go fix what's happening here. You see all this horribleness, all these people.
It looks around and there's, 3 or 4 people trapped in a time loop, but there's a bit of confusion on its face.
Don't worry about it too much. It's unnatural. That's the main part here.
It shrugs again.
Magic is such a wonder. Just love it so much. Well, you two? Introduce yourselves.
I don't want to be a wet blanket here, but it feels like art for an art's sake a bit, Ryan. If it can't tell us what's happening here.
I didn't animate it to tell us anything. I animated it for backup.
It is another set of hands to smash statues.
Okay, well, maybe not say that then.
The statue does manage to look slightly upset at that.
What Ben meant to say is that you will be helping us take down an entity that is decidedly unstatuesque.
Yeah,
It still looks confused, but slightly less concerned.
Well, since they will not introduce themselves, my name is Ryan Fortune. And if
Statue
this
nods.
animated thing sticks, you're going to be remembering me for a very long time.
I can just hear the memos already. Yeah, the statue just nods when you introduce yourself.
Yes,
I'm Ven.
And I'm Glenn,
Do you wanna?
and we are not siblings,
No. No.
even if it rhymes.
right. Well, you shouldn't worry too much. If everything works out, I'll be happy to, I guess, animate other things. Don't know who this boy is to you, or this dog, really. I'll assume they're both your loved ones. I've given you sentience. It's only just begun, though. You'll start feeling a lot of new things. You'll start feeling a lot of new things.
This might not be the time to deal with the existential consequences of bringing stone to life.
Listen,
Statue's pausing slightly, looking like it's developing a bit of a headache, and it's considering things that I'd never thought of before.
And pats the statue on the shoulder.
Oof.
It's all right, buddy. For now, let's take it one step at a time and go smash some demon-possessed statues. But demon, monster.
We don't
shouldn't
know.
use general terms.
We don't know for sure. Anyway, you shouldn't think too much. All you have to do is use that you have in your hand and stab. Maybe sentience was a bad idea.
Statue takes his spear and makes a stabbing motion in the direction of Ven without actually going for it.
Good
Not-
form.
Not us. Not us.
Good form. The years have been kind.
Statue sort of returns to its standard pose, almost as if it's trying to avoid thinking too hard, and goes back to what it knows just for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Let's give him a moment, fellas. All right. So, you think the statues are possessed? Well, I mean, we don't necessarily have to smash them. We can attempt to expel. Say, begone, demon.
The statue is decidedly not moving, but it's developing a headache.
Maybe we should move this conversation slightly over.
Yeah, let's investigate another room. Maybe we will see something out of place. I glance at the statue that is out of place now.
Let's
begin. Sorry.
Let's start with the dancing girl. It seems like
Okay.
the best place to get oriented.
Okay.
As
Statue.
you-
So that would be modern, well, semi-modern French art, I guess.
It is. Well, where is it standing? So you know that this particular one, sorry, I completely forgot where I was going, but you know that it is part of, that's what I'm trying to find. It's in a different part of the museum to where you are now. you know that it's decidedly in the French collection, just like you said. I don't know why I blanked on that. Actually, I do know. It's because the dancer itself is based off of a Belgian person, and my brain went, "Hang on, but those are different things. Is it in a different part?" But no, it is in the French part.
Oh, okay. So it is not in the statue part.
It's in a different statue part. There's a lot of statues in this museum.
Okay.
Because you're currently in the Greek and Roman section.
Yeah, let's go there.
Wait, I go back to where the statue once stood, and I look at see if there's a nameplate or anything.
There is not. Just as like. It's funny, actually, now that you think about it. It's been hard to read things in this place.
Ooh. It's been hard to read things. Interesting.
A lot of the identifying details seemed almost to be obscure from the beginning. You couldn't read the name of the museum or the address or the exact date you were in.
Problem that's only come up for me right now. Statue. We really need to come up with a name for you, or do you have a name already?
It shrugs at that. You get a feeling that even if it knew what its name was,
Yeah.
Seeing the messed name tags like trouble to read. Could I sort of investigate mystery if that can be another work of this trickster?
yeah, you can. So roll to investigate a mystery, please. That's a sharp roll.
7.
7. Partial success. You do get to ask one of those questions.
Okay, this is the... What can it do? It feels like the one. Can it do this particular thing?
This feels more like it's a part of the original spell.
Okay.
As if... And it's as if, given everything, the Wizarding Council has gone out of its way to try to hide where this place actually is. Probably in order to protect information as to, a site of great power that they've tried to still have functional to the outside world, but you reckon it's part of just a precautionary measure.
Okay, so let's head maybe to that dancing girl because time's running.
This is part where I wish that this game had intelligence checks. Glenn, because you're actively looking at it, I'll give you this for free. You could read the name of that statue and the artist who made it. That's the first time you've been able to get information that is that clear.
The name of the name tag here cleared itself. I can read it now. That's interesting.
Like it isn't part of the initial spell.
The only piece of artwork you've been able to identify by name is the statue of that little dancer of 14 years, which was listed in a brochure.
Okay. Maybe it's too famous to be covered by just generic spell or something like that.
Or something happened to it that makes it immune.
Well, I guess you should try doing some magic investigation. Well, can you check? Do you have some spell to check if it's possessed or something?
Then turns to Ryan. You are the master of the magical.
I imagine Ryan's just been pondering this whole time about a name for this statue.
That's the important part.
What? Huh.
Magic
Sorry, what?
test. Magic test the statue for signs of possession or something.
The one I just brought to life.
No, the girl.
No, the little girl right there.
Oh, sorry. Statue, we'll go with code names. Your code name shall be Spear for right now, until I can think of something better.
Statue looks slightly disappointed in.
I will call you the. Sorry, I can't pronounce it in English. The hoplite.
Hoplite.
Hoplite. Okay.
Guys. Buster.
All right. Let me look at this statue. I will, I guess, investigate.
Keep in mind, it's if you're talking about the little dancer, it's in a different part of the museum.
Sorry, we've been trying to head to that statue.
Oh, yeah. Well,
You
I
just
guess
keep
we
getting
had-
distracted.
I assumed we are already there because you said, all right. You said I can read it in the folder, not in the. I
Yes.
thought we are already here because and read the name tag here.
No, it's you haven't gotten to the actual name tag yet.
Okay.
What name tag plaque?
Well, let us move, gentlemen, and Spear.
All right. Spear follows.
Stick with us and you'll be fine.
Okay, it is indeed in the French part of the museum. And you do find it eventually. It's a pretty small figure, smaller than you would have expected, probably. Just under 40 inches tall, so about a meter tall for those of us who speak metric. It's indeed a statue of a young girl. You are able to read that the original statue was made out of wax. However, this one is not. It appears to be made out of bronze, if that makes a difference.
I will attempt to investigate a mystery, because I don't know what else would really apply here.
All right.
Or-
So what are you trying to find out?
Let's find out what. I will try to find out if anything's possessing this or if any magic was done to this statue. It's
Yeah, roll for it, please.
sharp's not good. 7.
It's a partial success, so with a 7, you get to ask one question.
Sure. I guess what is being concealed here in this here statue, if anything?
You're able to put a few pieces together. You know that all of you had looked through these folders before. It was one of the first things you did when you got to the museum, and you couldn't read it then. So something has changed in terms of why the concealment is no longer active. Something has been pointing you in the direction of this statue. Whether it is because this is where the creature is currently residing, or whether it's a red herring, is something that you are going to find out after the break.
Okay.
Nice.
So,
Maybe it is an ambush indeed.
who knows? All right, so Raymond, if you're still there, now seems like a great moment to go on a break. And then in about 5 to 10 minutes, we are going to be back with the last half ever to one of our episodes. And we'll find out maybe what's been torturing them all along.
Depressing.
All right. So, welcome back, everyone. The party has just identified a particular statue known as, the Little Dancer of 14 Years. And Ryan, tell me, what were you trying to figure out about this thing?
I was trying to figure out if there's anything inside of it currently. You know, what's being concealed when it comes to this piece? Why this piece in particular?
Are you using your third eye?
I can if you want me to roll read a bad situation.
I mean, are you trying to look at it magically? Because if so, I'd recommend using.
Yes, I'm. They've told me that there's something magic going on and that I should probably check it out since I am the only master here.
So I'd say if you do want to try to check it out magically, you can either use magic or you can use your third eye for this purpose. It's up to you which direction you take it.
I'll use third eye just because if anything is visible, I'd love to see it.
All right. So that's read a bad situation, right? That's your sharp.
Come on.
It's an 8. All right, so you should be able to ask at least one of those, but you also have a special move for this, don't you? That eye. Read a bad situation. Okay, so you get 2 questions, and you get to see invisible things. All right, let's start with the question.
Okay. Are there any dangers we haven't noticed yet in relation to this statue?
Yes. And with your third eye, you see that it is not inside this statue. It's sitting on its chest, defying gravity, to put it mildly, and not in the wicked way. It's a creature that you've never encountered before. It's decidedly not a little girl. It looks feminine, but more in the same way that a troll would. And it's sitting on this statue's chest. So if the statue's like this, it's sitting comfortably like that. Gravity be damned. And it's trying to reach for its hair, as if it's trying to move the bronze itself and being incredibly frustrated that it can't.
Nice. Second question.
Yes.
Oh boy. I guess what's most vulnerable to me? El Magician.
You reckon that there's a reason why no one has been able to deal with this creature before. It may very well be impossible to kill.
Fun.
So what you do with that information is up to you.
Right. Well, I look at Ven and Glenn. Gentlemen, it seems we have a troll here of some sort, probably impervious to death, which screams to me not impervious to a dimension hop.
The creature shifts a bit, as if for the first time realizing that it's no longer alone. It stops braiding, and it turns around, and it looks at Ven. Then I'm going to need you to roll me to act under pressure.
Ooh. Haha. I've read about this sort of thing.
You get to do that after you've rolled to act under pressure.
I get to
In
roll
this
plus
instance.
sharp instead of plus cool.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought it was I've encountered this thing before that gets you more information. But no, of course I do. Perfect. The creature looks at you, changes its mind. Glenn, I need you to roll me to act under pressure.
Cool.
Yep. Ooh, so on a 6?
This game has skewed me totally because I'm happy I failed.
That's the
Don't
joy of Powered by the Apocalypse. Failure has its own rewards.
Don't forget you have plot points.
You
Here's
do.
the thing. Glenn, you
Now-
can't see this creature. So far, only Ryan has been able to see it. But suddenly you feel it. Something is on your chest. It weighs more than you thought it could. It makes it difficult to move, and all you want to do is stand there. And you feel fingers reaching up, starting to play with your hair. Glenn, what's a bad memory that sometimes haunts you?
Oh, in this is practically written in my character sheet that my lost team killed by some creature that started my career as monster hunter because I wanted to know, because I knew nothing then and I was helpless to do anything. That's the bad memory, most certainly.
And that's what you feel yourself re-experiencing. Almost as if it's a very vivid dream. And
Am I experiencing these emotions or am I back in the jungle?
it's again like a very vivid dream. You can tell
Okay.
it's not entirely like you know something is up with it. But it's a very vivid memory.
Something's bad going on here. Can you
And-
see it?
The thing moved, right?
Yeah. It leaped across the room.
Hmm.
Do you see the trees? Do you see the trees too?
I'm gonna try to trap it.
Are you using magic?
Yes. Oh, sorry. I try to use magic to trap it.
I'm gonna
You
try to help.
reckon, yeah, you reckon this is going to take both of you. This is big magic. It's going to take at least 2 people, and you'll need to roll on it. So first, a roll of assistance from Ven, please.
Come on, Ben.
Nice.
How we're helping.
Ooh.
Yeah, you are absolutely helping. That is going to straight up just give Ryan a +1 to his roll.
Okay, so this is a +2 for the first one, same as
Yes.
last time. Did I click weird? No, I was about to do the wrong roll. Amazing.
The +2, it is a partial success.
I rolled
So
crazy.
I'll let you choose which glitch you think will take effect.
I feel like all of these are bad. You know what? I'll take the harm.
All right. It's a tremendous amount of effort to pull off this magic this quickly, and it does have a strain on you. So you do suffer that 1 point of harm. Tell me, how are you trapping this thing that is currently attached to Glenn?
I trap it. I just trap it in place. So I reach out towards Glenn. I'm going to need you to stop that. And I just send a pulse of magic that the chains come out and form and wrap around.
Okay. It is still latched onto Glenn. However, you've prevented it from jumping onto the next person. So you've got it trapped, and then I'll say that you can see where the chains are, even though you can't see the creature itself. Glenn, this is still a very, very vivid nightmare.
If I'm back in the jungle, I would probably want to have my M16 in my hands. Well, I don't have M16 on me, but the shotgun will do.
All right, you've got the shotgun in your hands. And
Show
rest of you see
yourself.
this, by the way.
Show yourself. I'm yelling to the creature that has killed my entire team.
Hey, everyone. Glenn is getting slightly agitated. And there's a shotgun in his hands. And he was talking about trees that you can't see. What do you do?
Then I have it trapped. It's your turn.
Can I use the information that we have garnered thus far to finally nail what this thing is? Because player is almost certain they know.
Okay, so how is Ven figuring this out? Is it through a roll, or are you just deducing it out loud?
Dark Past. We'll start with Dark Past, and otherwise
Okay.
I'll
They just accept that Glenn is the best bait.
history it out.
So with your dark past on a 9, you get to ask one question.
Do I know anyone that might be behind this? What do I know that has these properties?
This is a creature that you've heard of in your studies. You haven't encountered one before, but it clicks as soon as Glenn starts talking about what he's currently experiencing. And you know that Glenn has gone through something like this in real life. Whatever this thing is, it's decidedly inducing a nightmare. You reckon there's one creature that does exactly that?
I would like to make a preparedness test to see if I have anything that will permanently trap Amara.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, finally the skill works.
Finally.
Finally.
Not just prepared, prepared and on hand.
Ben, god damn it. Ben, you are still stuck in a nightmare. Then, on the other hand, what do you have that you reckon will trap Amara?
Probably a heavily consecrated box of some sort, full of I actually don't know what would trap a Mara. You know what? We'll go for some really bad cross-cultural appropriation and do a box that has a dream catcher inside.
Okay. Now you tell me, how do you've got your box? What do you do?
I'm going to open the box and draw the Mara's attention into it.
How do you do that?
With
You reckon it might hold the creature, but it's a matter of how do you get it to go into a box voluntarily? Or by force.
I take the picture of the statue of the dancing girl and I put it in the box.
Roll to manipulate someone.
Ooh, maybe.
Okay.
On a partial success. There's a problem. It's currently trapped in place, attached to Glenn. The picture is tempting it, but A, it's trapped in place, and it's feeding. You reckon that even if you had made the most compelling arguments for why this picture was something it wanted, it's still trapped.
Ryan, let it go and splash Glenn with something. Wake him up. Smack him around a little bit if you gotta. I'm pretty sure I can trap it in this, but we've got to let it go for long enough to get it.
What does that mean? Character to character.
It means I've got this. Just let it go and, give Glenn a smack. I can't trap it if it's stuck to him.
Fine. I want to... Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yes?
I'm gonna release the trap, but it's still on Glenn. I'd love to get it off Glenn. I doubt it's just gonna come off.
That's why you wake him up.
No, we're brewing.
If he's not in a nightmare, it won't bother with him.
Keep in mind that you've seen Glenn move about, and his eyes are still open.
Out of character.
Doesn't appear to have ever fallen asleep properly.
Out of character. Brian has no idea what you're talking about. So, can I use magic again to try to, I guess, banish it from Glenn? Basically, just try to disconnect them.
Absolutely.
I think that's the thing that fits regular magic.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I'm gonna use luck.
Is that a 6?
I'm gonna use luck.
Okay.
Not going to have it. I see.
I might as well.
All right. Remind everyone what happens when you spend luck.
When you spend luck, the official Council of Wizards is gonna poke their nose into your business.
This is their business. They started it.
This is literally their business. Leave me alone.
But mechanically, how does it benefit you?
Oh. It changes my roll to a 12.
Excellent. Figured we'd clarify that. So on a 12, you can see its fingers let go of Glenn's hair. And Glenn, suddenly you are back to reality. Or, whatever this time loop might be, but it's as close to reality as you've known for a little while now. Remind me, Ryan, have you gotten rid of the chains at this point?
Yeah, I released those first, and then
Okay.
for the...
Well, that was a bit of a strange ordeal. I had a really, really strong nightmare for a while. It's still hard to breathe.
If Ryan if Par wouldn't use the luck, I would say I would probably unload my clip right at this moment at the trees.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm not doing that because I'm not in the jungle, and this will take me some time to get my bearings back.
All right.
Whoa, what was that?
Hey, then, that thing is currently free and not attached to any host. You might want to try that trap again.
Yeah. Another manipulation roll, or is this...
Yes, unless you're changing tactics. Oh, fantastic. There is indeed a floating eyeball with angel wings that seems to be looking at all of you.
Ben is going to focus on the task at hand and make notes of why eyeballs.
Then,
Yeah.
because of the sudden appearance of an eye with angel wings, I'm going to say you're a little bit distracted. And I'm going to give you a -1 to this roll.
Ooh.
Roll to manipulate, please. Because something's watching you. Ooh, and an 8 still. Pretty solid.
Does it count as acting under pressure if I have performance anxiety?
Here's the thing. You reckon that if it was close enough, it would probably go for it. But it doesn't seem to want to make that jump. You reckon that if you carry it over, it might go in.
Yeah, I will cautiously approach with the box.
I need you to roll me to act under pressure.
There we go.
Nice.
Killing it today.
Yeah. It's as weird of a plan as it was, it seems to be working decently well. You're able to move the box. The creature, and Ryan will be able to see this, does look you up and down, but decides that your nightmares just aren't that tasty. It really wanted to get to whatever nightmares that 14-year-old little dancer was hiding, not fully understanding that it's a statue, or that it's even a photo of a statue. And it very gingerly hops into a box.
That box gets sealed immediately.
All right. You see the eyeball blink, which is strange because it doesn't have eyelids. But still, somehow it blinks. And things start to change around you. All of you. It's as if you're caught in a whirlwind. It's the movement of 20 years that have been put on hold. And through the building is a surge of life. You see almost like a time lapse right in front of your eyes. As 20 years of guests come and go before your eyes, the museum is opened and closed multiple times every day and every night. And then it quiets down. It appears to be closed. Some of the statues or around you have been replaced. Some appear to have been taken down for maintenance, but it's quiet and peaceful.
Then vomits into a nearby trash bin. I hate time travel. I hate it so much.
Can I use magic before the other two look at me to just give myself like a long white beard and white hair real quick?
Sure. Roll to use your magic, please.
Come on.
You have a lot of time because Glenn just sits on his ass where he stands and cradles his head.
Ryan, you have modified your appearance in any way you want.
So it's more of an illusory change that's really good than an actual physical change. So I'm a little hunched over, and my hair is just white. My clothes look a little worn with age, and I have a long white beard.
Oh, see, time travel. It's the worst. Don't mess about in the time stream. You'd think wizards would know this. They're a council of wizards. They're supposed to be professionals, and this is what happens.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen you two.
What do you all do?
Oh, we should get out of here.
You should have the council reverse whatever that is, because this is their fault. They did it. You're paying consequences. It's not acceptable.
Come along, Dory.
Dory is no longer with you.
No.
Glenn,
As soon as the time lapse started, they magically returned to where they were meant to be all along.
Pain. That's what it is. Pain.
what happened here? Glenn asks. And looks at
did.
Ryan. Oh my god.
You know what Ryan does? He does the horribly sad old man cry, where the tears are welling up, and it really looks like his world has been shattered. Never like to see an old person cry. It's even worse in like a movie. It's even worse in a movie where it's like, what'd you do?
Okay, so
Glenn
Ryan is crying. What are the rest of you doing?
Glenn is totally lost because I was coming close to a statue. Ryan was investigating the statue, and then I was in the jungle. Then everything spinned. Now Ryan is old. I'm losing it. I take out my phone, turn on the camera, and do a selfie. Shot a selfie.
Okay, you take a selfie.
And now I watch it.
So tempted to just
You see your face.
fuck with him.
Not old. Not really older. Okay.
No. You
What
look
the hell
the
is
same as
going
the
on?
last time you checked yourself in a mirror.
Something went wrong. Me and Dory were together for 300 years. He was a stalwart companion, that one.
Ven is going to attempt to see through this illusion. 300,
Okay,
300
I
years?
need you to. Are you using something mechanically, or are you just calling Ryan on this bullshit? Because both are valid options.
Ven's just gonna call Ryan on his bullshit. 300 years. The original loop was only 20.
How'd you know?
She told us. And she wasn't, like, the most useful, but that was valid information at hand.
Fine. Would have been very good, though, wouldn't it?
You had me going for a minute.
Okay, but what happened?
I'm
Oh, you
assuming everything's set right.
Something teleported me into the jungle.
Oh no, you were having a nightmare. It was it's a beast called a Mara. They're real nightmare-y.
Yeah, I hate that one.
Yeah,
I've told you about my past.
it doesn't seem like
I
a
was
good
back in
time.
the jungle. Yeah, it sucked. Okay, so what happened with the Mara?
Oh yeah, it's in this box, which is going in the sea at the earliest opportunity. Preferably in concrete, but we'll see what I can swing.
Okay.
And then
I realize the time loop is this is a question to GM. Time loop is done.
Yeah,
Wait,
everything's back to
they are no longer stuck. That was it?
It's all cleaned up.
Did I miss a lot? Because I was there and I'm here.
You missed a time lapse of 20 years that you've already lived? Just not in this particular spot.
Don't think about it too much.
No, but but you solved this mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was a thing. We trapped the thing. It solved the thing.
Oh, so that this nightmare thing was the problem.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic.
They're real good at manipulating things. It's not surprising that the Wizarding Council lost so many good minds to this project.
The eye blinks at you.
All right, let us get out of
Glenn
here.
notices the eye, and what the hell is that?
The eye blinks again.
Some council fuckery.
Probably. They're... nannies.
I'm gonna walk back to the entranceway.
Then follows.
Appearing reluctantly is the same slender, dark-curled woman that brought you there. Over her arm, she's got slung an emerald duffel coat. She eyes you up and down. I see the matter has been dealt with.
Yes, it has.
Where's the fourth one?
Oh,
I brought a coat, all for them.
Oh, they got caught in the loop for a minute. They'll probably be back shortly.
That's peculiar.
oh yeah, we need to get Winter. That thing really is confusing.
Well, I believe this concludes our business.
Are you searching for your lost member, or are you not?
Yeah,
Well, we will, but
Glenn would.
the job at hand
Glenn-
is over.
Glenn never leaves anybody behind.
Very
So
well.
okay, deal the paperwork, deal with paperwork, the licenses and stuff. I'll get Winter.
All
Okay.
of you, like, are you splitting the group?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, should just
Yeah.
be a museum now, right?
Oh, it's more of a GM question so that I know who's where.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
I leave
Uh,
Ven and Ryan to deal with this mage
Then
because
we'll
it's their part of the. They are it. It's their business, not Glenn's. I'm just here for the ride.
then we'll actually go with Glenn to fetch Winter to avoid potentially lethal foot and mouth.
Probably a good call.
Ryan stays.
So
Agatha
You leave
hands
the most-
over the cart. Well, I suppose I promised a certain cart.
Wow, benevolent of you.
Indeed, it happens.
Hmm.
Well, Mr. Fortune, there's a few things to discuss. Procedures, as always.
Ah, yes. You do love your procedures.
It has kept the timelines intact.
Sure it has.
So far, no multiverse has come crashing down on me. So, as tedious as it is, the procedures are there for a reason. Now, good work.
Thank you. Should have expected this, though. I am a master, after all.
Now, there's something you've been pursuing for quite some time, despite your obvious distaste for our methods, our procedures, and our regulations.
Huh. Yes. Well, no matter what, things can always be improved upon.
Well, since I'm the one who has to file all of the forms, what exactly is it that you seek?
You know, for a very long time since I stumbled into the arcane world, I
So it was more of a belly flop, but of course.
truly desired to be recognized as the master I've always been. I did. You know, it wasn't easy. Just a random occurrence in a college dorm room of all things as an introduction to magic. How terrifying and befuddling it was.
You'd be surprised how many encounter magic there for the first time. College dorms are peculiar, to say the least.
Apparently. But I don't think I need that recognition anymore. And as far as the council goes, all of our business is concluded with this one.
Returning to your life as a free agent, then. Is that your decision?
Yes.
Very well. We thank you for your services. And Agatha turns around and is, for the briefest moment, surrounded by emerald mist before she disappears before your eyes.
Wow. She took that much better than I thought she would.
What do you all do?
I go help them find Winter.
Despite your best efforts, Winter does not appear to be in the building.
I'm going to assume this has something to do with all of the spookiness around Winter. Maybe something to do with the owl.
Or
They'll
time.
turn up.
The owl's the council. Part of the council.
And clearly they occasionally disappear people.
I suppose. Well,
Okay, so we can't fight Winter, so we have to go back to Ryan.
mm-hmm.
So, did you get your spellcasting license back or whatever it was?
Me and the council are going our separate ways. Completely.
Good. Those bootsteppers wouldn't know good magic if it bit them.
Yes, and
Good, and
honestly, I have a reputation with many factions.
Something and looks around. We are still in the museum.
Mm-hmm. We can leave.
Yeah, but are we in Denmark?
What?
Oh, man. Yeah, we're in Denmark.
So dramatic.
We have portals.
Yes.
I know a guy about who can organize a passport.
No, let's join hands. Let's try this teleportation thing.
The teleportation is how we got into this mess in the first place.
What
Yes,
better way to get out?
Unwilling teleportation.
This is
much faster.
Fully consensual teleportation is much safer, we promise.
Promise. Swear to it.
Now quickly, before he wakes up.
Who?
Trying for a joke.
Sorry, but this day is just a mood.
All right, give me your hand. Both of you, give me your hand.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to do it all together.
Everybody joins hands and jumps across the Atlantic Ocean.
I need you to roll this at a -2, whoever's casting this spell, because you don't know exactly where you are, or when you are for that matter.
I'll bite the bullet. Is this regular magic or big?
No, this is going to have to be... Actually, it's going to be use magic, but I'll need 2 separate rolls from anyone wishing to partake in it. I'll allow Glenn, who's not a magic user, to do his best to help out, but both Ven and Ryan, you're going to need separate rolls.
Okay.
So, Glenn, if you want to roll to help first.
Okay.
Assuming, if you want to help. If you don't want to help, you can just...
They've told me to join hands, so I'm focusing on whatever they want me to do.
Mm-hmm. So that's your call, please.
Focus on home.
Now I roll what I wanted. Now I no more need it.
Yeah, you're no help at all.
Yeah. But I know the guy about passports.
Yeah. Fen and Ryan, both of you at a -2. Please roll me to use magic.
We got this, Ben.
Well, a master and an expert, we'll make it work.
Okay,
Had to come around eventually. It
Do I
had
just
to come around eventually.
Are we holding hands and I just teleport away?
No. What happens is the portal opens perfectly. It just doesn't lead anywhere. Because one person had to open it here and another connected at the other end.
Then, what are you doing?
It's been a minute since I've been back to the gas station. Having a hard time focusing. It's been a really long day.
As mundane as the solution might be, Glenn knows a guy.
Let's just fake some passports. I would much rather be an international criminal than interdimensional flotsam.
Well, oh man, so disappointed. Whatever.
Yeah, let's do think my way at least once.
Ooh, wait. I run back in to go see Dory.
Dory is right back where they are meant to be as part of a collection of figures.
Still?
Yeah.
They never do anything fun. It can't be just me that thinks that having a museum guarded at night by the statues is, first of all, an amazing image of horror and entirely convenient. At least put some demons in paintings or something. Well, good lad. Dory, mission accomplished. Catch you later. And Ryan runs back out.
So, you're in a museum that's closed for the night. You've figured out that you are somewhere in Denmark. Glenn knows a guy somewhere in Denmark. With those 2 points of plot points that you have, I'll say you even know how to find them. But I think the next time we see the party, it's 2 months later. When, after a painstaking process of trying to get all of their incredibly strange gear across the Atlantic on fake passports, having identified roughly where they are, both time-wise, and realizing that there was that 2-month discrepancy between when they left and when they came back. Everyone, as this peculiar adventure draws to a close, what's your epilogue for each of you as the music begins to play in the background?
I guess I'll go first. Hi. So, it's been a while. Check in from Ryan Fortune. I know, you're wondering, what became of me? What a legendary figure in the arcane community. Well, after I left the Council of Wizards, well, they weren't paying very much attention because my arcane reputation truly grew. So many organizations out in the world knew my name that I had no problem getting by as a freelancer. In fact, people looked to me for a lot of advice. Every now and then you might see me doing something like, I don't know, making a legendary weapon for an adventurer to find on their journeys. You might find me, well, installing a way for you to talk to your building. And you might just find me with that old gang I knew once way back when. But wherever you do find me, you find a master of the arcane. And that's really all I have to say about that.
The music picks back up again after Ryan, master of the arcane, has managed to break the fourth wall. And as the credits begin to roll, the camera instead pans over to Glenn. Glenn, what are you doing after this adventure has been concluded?
Glenn keeps hunting monsters, searching for the answer to the one question that sometimes make him wake at night, in the middle of the night, with scream. What happened with his team? And so it happens. Glenn got his answer and came back to the jungle to hand it back. So the camera pans through the thick plants into thicker and thicker, darker and darker. We see only leaves. Well, that's higher. We see only leaves, lots of leaves, and between leaves, open the eyes. It's Glenn. Face green paint. Glenn waits. He is the hunter now.
Excellent. And towards the end of the credits, the camera pulls out of the jungle and lands on Ven. Ven, what are you doing after this adventure is wrapped up?
Then goes back to the gas station, and having discovered firsthand that just having people in the world who know magic and claim to have a handle on things isn't enough. So they start about setting up franchises. Now there are gas stations all over the world, connected by intricate magical networks, where other experts in the fields of the arcane are trained.
Sorry, I just imagined that you've said this network because we didn't. The guy about passport didn't pan out, and we had to cross the Atlantic in some shipping container. So
Not
the gas
my
stations are all over the world and have portals.
Never getting stuck in Denmark again.
And that is where we get the final end credits of this fantastic show that's been an absolute joy to be a part of, where things go south. And yeah, that is the entire season finale. Gosh, before we go to the outro and before we are taken on a raid, I would love to hear from all of you. Effectively, what was your favorite part, and not just of this session, but these whole 8 episodes we've had together? A bit about yourself and where people can find you next. So let's start with Economics.
My favorite part of the season of the campaign of the game was Ryan asking the questions, despite pretending to have all the answers on his own. But Ryan asking questions to practically every building we ever been in. Because buildings have the answers.
All right. So
Which is sorry, one more thing.
Yeah.
It felt so part of the game that I actually believed until penultimate episode that it's a special move, talking with buildings. Then I checked the book and it wasn't there. And I asked you.
It's not a special move.
And yeah, so I'm a Kinolax. I'm playing TTRPG games on Twitch, and I talk about them on Twitter. And you can find me, of course, in such a game tomorrow, when we will be ending another season, a game of Stars Without Numbers, by going by the name of Void Cavalcade. Same time
Fantastic.
tomorrow.
Excellent. All right. Eshi, up you go.
You know, my favorite part throughout this entire endeavor has just been you lot. I feel like there was a lot of moments of really, really good chemistry and a lot of really solid improv, and just thank you all for gaming with me. It was a joy. I'm Eshi. I rant and I rave and I paint minis for the most part. Occasionally I can be found playing TTRPGs here. And other than that, pretty much not at all. We'll see if that sticks.
All right. Pa, what about you?
Favorite moments of the season? Huh? Boy, oh boy. There's a lot of good ones in there. Well, I'm biased because my favorite episode is the library episode, because it birthed so many things that would define my character from then on. Talking to buildings, the rapport with Ven truly kicked off in that episode. Just the Ryan wanting to always summon something. Always the out of the box, out of the ordinary, out of the box answers to questions. Like a statue, perhaps, being animated. Be my favorite episode. My favorite moment. Really trying to think. So many good ones. So many good ones. I think, you know what? This one a little bit back. I think it's the nice character moment between Ven and his childhood friend is probably a standout moment for me. I think back on. Otherwise, I am Par. You can find me on Twitter at LTALIG. That's at LTALIG. And I have a Twitch, but the name is so... I'm going to miss this bit. I have a Twitch, but the name is so long I won't repeat it here. But you can always try to find it. That's me done.
All right. And yeah, gosh, now I have to talk again. Gosh, my favorite part of this entire series. I think there was definitely a turning point where everyone just sort of settled into their characters and into the system. Then it's like, oh, now we've got our shit figured out. And as a GM, it was such a treat to see when things finally sort of clicked into place. And after that, it was just such a fun ride the entire way. But yeah, seeing a cast really take to a system and to their characters and the dynamics is an absolute treat. I also love the fact that I've gotten to play so many inanimate objects, more so than people throughout this series. I've never spent so much thought trying to figure out how a building would look at things. And that's something I'll take with me. Where you can find me next? In about, oh God, maths, 5 or 6 hours. Over on my own channel, we're starting a campaign of Vampire the Masquerade.
Yes.
And tomorrow, you'll be able to see me here along with Econorlax as we both play in the Void Cavalcade for the Stars Without Number finale. Yeah, so thank you everyone so much for watching. Thanks to my truly wonderful cast. It's been a great pleasure working with all of you for this season. Thanks to everyone who's donated and supported the stream in any way. And also a special thanks to our sponsors, Fundamental RPG and Grinding Coffee Company. Remember that you can get 13% off your order at grindingcoffee.co by using the code RAVEN. That's RAVVYN. And Raven, this is where I hand the reins over to you. I hear you want to take us on a raid.
Indeed, that was fantastic. I'm always sad at the end of a series because they're always so good. But this was amazing, and great way to wrap it all up. So again, thank you to Polished for running this game and the cast for playing in it. It's been a joy to produce it, and I've very much enjoyed having it on the channel. So again, thank you. And yeah, we're gonna go on a raid. Real quick announcement: you can find some of this cast actually back tomorrow, as they were saying, for the finale of the Void Cavalcade. That's at 1 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And then I will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time for the season finale of Animus Absentas. I've been saying a few times this week, if you are not up to date with that show, this episode's going to be a great one to jump in. A lot of the questions from this season are going to get answered tomorrow, and a lot of new questions are going to come up for the next season. So definitely a good time to jump in on that show. But we're going to go raid Encounter Roleplay. They are currently doing some more tabletop over there, and then our raid cry, as you see in chat, is "I'm never getting stuck in Denmark again." So thank you again, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.